I'll give you the list of vacancies and how many applications that we have submitted for. We have 2 vacancies on the Benton Harbor St. Joe Joint Board of Commissioners for the wastewater treatment plant. We have 1 application submitted for those 2 positions. Board of Review, we have 1 vacancy and 1 application submitted for that one. Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, 2 vacancies, 1 application submitted, and we have 1 interview that's scheduled today for a reappointment to the Brownfield. I don't see him yet, but I haven't heard from him. We have 2 vacancies on the Cemetery Board, 5 vacancies on the Citizen Review Board with 2 applications submitted for that. Communications and Public Relations, 1 vacancy. Compensation Commission, 2 vacancies. Construction Board of Appeals, 4 vacancies. Downtown Development Authority, 1 vacancy and 1 application submitted for it. The Income Tax Appeal Board, 2 vacancies. And the Planning Commission, we have 1 vacancy, 3 applications submitted for it, and we have 1 person that will be interviewing for that position today.
Thank you for the option. The Benton Harbor St. Joe water waste treatment plant. So we've got 2
vacancies. We have 3 members on that 3 positions on there. 1 is being occupied by Mr. Mitchell. The other 2, I think it was Mr. O'Malley, and I think it was a vacancy on there. So
Steve Archibald.
was Steve Archibald? Okay, I know it's
still 2.
yeah, it's 2. It's 2 right now.
But I don't know.
I'll
Because
see if I can.
there are 3 of them, 2 of them here now.
Okay. You have any more questions while I'm looking?
So we haven't got nothing for the Citizen Review Board.
For the Citizen Review, we have 2 applications
Oh, okay.
submitted for that one.
I mean, it's only just 5.
It's a 5-member board. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So actually, there is 3 for the Benton Harbor St. Joe Joint Board of Commissioners. There's 3 positions and then 1 alternate. Yeah. So right now we have Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Archibald. We have a vacancy as a result of the resignation of Michael O'Malley, and then the alternate is vacant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody, any questions on board vacancies? Anybody want to fill a board? You don't know. Thank you. Next we have board appointments, interviews. First up we have the Brown Redevelopment Authority Board of Directors. We recommend the appoint Sam Houston. I don't see him here. Hudson. Well, Planning Commission recommending the appointment of Ron Ferguson. Mr. Ferguson.
Yes, sir.
Step up.
We don't have a microphone working right now. Mr. Ferguson can just elevate your voice.
How you doing, Mr.
Hey,
Ferguson?
how you doing?
Good to see you.
All right,
Good to see
you
you.
too.
Good to see you. So you want to be on the Planning Commission
Yeah.
for Benton Harbor, for the city of Benton Harbor. So you tell us why and what brought you here.
Because I served on the township's planning commission, and I was thinking when I saw the vacancy, I thought it would be an opportunity to get a chance to be part of the growth happening down here.
You see a change in the city, it's growing and development. How long was you with the township? You was there for?
I served on the planning commission while I was a county commissioner. It was probably like 1 term. And then I ran for a supervisor at the township, so I had to step down from the planning commission.
Good. You still have that passion. You want to
Oh, yeah.
do something, serve. So you have the planning president, commission president here today.
Sure.
Oh, chairman, now, Mr. Reed. We don't have no more committee members here, so thank you for one of those.
So I have a question. The magic question. You live in the city?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Long time resident around the area, I see him around.
Not around the area, in the city.
The city, yeah, in the city.
Yeah. Yeah, I live in Kojic Village. I live in Kojic Village. Thank you.
So you know what time the meeting started?
It's the first, they are held on the first Tuesday of the month at 1 o'clock. We have quarterly meetings at 5:30 p.m.
Okay.
You'll be, we'll take this to the full commission for a vote, and so we need people like you who want to serve and have a passion for the city. Thank
All
you for coming tonight.
All right, thank you.
Mhm. Right. Next we have on the agenda, discussion renaming of the bridge, Britain Bridge. And I think that was, I've been, Commissioner Henderson, was it Singleton? Commissioner Singleton, you want to speak on?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Yeah, this was I guess, just a little background on it. Matter of fact, about 25 years ago, come September, a 12-year-old student, Benton Harbor Area School student, along with her sister and I believe another friend, kids just walking to school. Matter of fact, I believe they lived over on Colfax. Took a long walk from Colfax heading to the school at McCord and Britain there, I believe it was King School. Usual, they did it, many times. But on that particular day, they almost made it to school. And a tragic accident happened, incident. The sidewalk gave away after they just barely crossed the Britain Bridge, and I believe it was 3 fell in the hole. 2 survived. It was a slab of concrete that was on top of a 12-year-old girl that died.
That was on the floor.
Yes, and so years went by, so 25 years ago, and I talked to several people. Matter of fact, the idea, conversation came up with the gentleman by the name of Reggie Wells, a former resident here. Matter of fact, he's present here today, and we talked about it, and everybody who been around here during that time, when you cross that bridge, subconsciously, you always remember, that incident, it's, the bridge is known as the girl that fell in, that died on the bridge, So we was thinking, say, hey man, all that kid was doing just going to school, right? Understand, from some of the background information that, she was definitely a great student, kind of looked up by her peers, next thing the sister went in the whole wedding, the sister watched, the sister was a year older than her, and she watched the sister take her last breath. But like I say, that the bridge is known since then as, when you go across there, you think, matter of fact, I asked one of my buddies who used to be the police chief here. He's in Mississippi now, and I called him up. I said, imagine going down Britain, and said, yeah. I said, head niece crossing the bridge. I said, what's the first thing that come to mind? And that was the first thing he mentioned, that's something we had never forgot. So I reached out to the family and talked to them about it. And the mother was very in agreement with it. It really touched her. She's just thanked, us in advance, for thinking about her baby, And I thought it would be a great honor, that we now naming different streets and buildings and parks and stuff that, that young girl should, instead of the bridge just being known as the little girl that, fell in the bridge, that we should put a name to it, to Tawana Marie Floyd Memorial Bridge. And like I say, the family is very much appreciative and supportive of the ideal. And so we brought it to the Public Safety Committee, and the next process was to the Legislative Committee. Matter of fact, City Clerk has offered her if this passed through the commission, her expertise in putting together some type of dedication. And we'll be working with the family. So we're here today to ask that the legislature would consider that and move to the full commission. I don't know if Mr. Wells wanted to say anything.
I'll get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be an honor to recognize this young lady. It's been 25 years.
Yes.
To remember what happened. I'm sure that's a shock, to go to, like you said, going to school and just, do her parents still stay?
The mother, she stays, and she has a aunt, I think some other relatives. Her sister lives out of town, somewhere in the south. And the aunt and the mother said if this happened, that they wanted to bring her sister back. And, I think that, although it don't make up for, everything, but I think it kind of, give them some type of closure and say, hey, she just went and forgot about,
Right. All right, Mr. Wells, would you like to say something about?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I was a resident here. I left here when I was 10. I'm retired now from the Coast Guard, so I've always been back to Benton Harbor over the years. I was going across the bridge one day with a young lady, I think her name was Michelle. I was telling her how my friend at the time, Reggie Harris, we used to fish underneath the bridge, my great aunts and everything. And she explained to me that a girl had been killed on the bridge, and I asked her what had happened. Just like Mr. Singleton said, he explained to me, she explained to me what had happened. I said, well, I don't see a memorial for her, or a name or anything.
Right.
I said, well, but she was on her way to school to Silver McCord. I said, she was? I said, oh man, that's terrible. And so every time I go across the bridge now, it always hits me. Then I hear other people talking about it. So I talked to Mr. Singleton. He said, you know what? Let me see if we can try to do something for that. She was only 12 years old at the time. And the safety commissioner was, at the time, I don't know if he's still in office, David Walker. So I don't know, but if anything the commission can do for that, I think would be highly appreciated. And I know the family would.
Okay.
Thank you.
Representative Warren, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Sorry I'm late.
That's all right. Right now, we're talking about renaming the bridge from Benton. The young lady that was a terrible accident 25 years ago.
I remember.
That's what we're discussing right now.
Okay.
Anybody else want to speak on the accident? Would you like to say something? Citizen Rep.
I don't have a lot to say, but I think it's a good idea to kind of, ensure the community is remembering her. And yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I said, because it's so sad, but definitely needs to be done.
Yeah, it is. Anybody else want Mr. Hudson?
Has anybody spoken to the family about this?
Commissioner Singleton.
Yes, I have
Their response.
spoken with the, I reached out, I knew, the aunt, Ms. Giselle Floyd, who was an educator, with the Benton Harbor area schools, and, she, got me in contact with the mother, and, they both discussed it, and they both called me back, and the mother said she would be honored, and she, just thanked us in advance for, thinking about her baby.
For the people, some people that came in late right now, we're discussing the young lady, Tawana Floyd. Yes. She had that bridge accident on Britain. That's what we're discussing. Honoring her with renaming the bridge. I don't know what to name the bridge now, but
Brady Bridge.
Great. Anybody else would like to say something? All right, we'll move this forward. Thank you, Commissioner Singleton, for all that information, and they need to bring it up in the newspaper or something, maybe in the spirit. We got the communication chair here. Thank you. We got Mr. Hudson here. So Mr. Hudson, for interview, recommending the reappointment of Sam Hudson to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority Board of Directors. How you feel about that, Mr. Hudson? That's how you feel? You want to be reappointed to the board?
If they need someone, I will serve.
Mm-hmm. You like doing
I
that?
would not like to I've had my chance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to take away someone else's opportunity. But if I am needed, as I've expressed to everybody, then I do not have a problem in serving in my limited capacity.
Okay. You enjoyed it. This your first term?
First term.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you made accomplishments. You come to the meetings. I know you
I don't think we've done everything we want to do, but every journey starts with the first step. So I think that there's tremendous potential for the Brownfield.
Okay.
I am simply a member, so I speak from my sole opinion now. I think there are a number of things that we could do in conjunction with the city's directives in terms of becoming viable and a more perfect place to live and work and exist. And if that's the end result, I'm in.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson. I'm sure you're a valuable asset to the Brownfield Authority. Representative Warren, would you like to ask Mr. Hudson?
So I've had the pleasure of serving along with Mr. Hudson on the Brownfield Authority Board, and you bring some great ideas. You're very vocal, so that's always great. I think you do a good job, so I'm actually pleased that you are reapplying, and I'm excited to continue to work with you.
Thank you.
Man, you have something, Mr. Hudson?
I didn't even recognize you, Mr. Hudson, when you walked in the cut.
Incognito.
Yeah, you're in disguise. But,
Well, let me take off my hat.
glad to have you.
Anybody in the audience would like to have a question for Mr. Hudson? Commissioner Henry? Oh, Mr. Wells? Yes. You gotta come up this way, sir.
I don't know too much about this Brownfield, but I don't know if Mr. Hudson was here yesterday.
No.
There was a young lady here yesterday was asking about Brownfield, and was it HUD?
Yes, I forgot her name. Yes.
Yeah, she has some very, very important information that couldn't be answered. But if you look at YouTube, you'll hear her comments when you get a chance, if you look at YouTube. I don't know her name, but
She should be asked to probably attend our meeting
okay.
in order to get a full perspective of where we're at, maybe as a body of the whole, we could answer or attend to whatever
Yeah,
questions you have.
because she really seemed disappointed when she left out of there. And when a person leaves a meeting like that and goes back into the city,
Okay,
then they'll be like, they didn't do anything for me. You understand what I'm saying?
we'll get Mr. Hudson on that. Commissioner Henry, please, say something.
No, I just clear one.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Reed, you'd like to say? Mr. Duncan? Thank you, Mr. Hudson. We're gonna take this to the full body, but I know with your passion and dedication, I'm sure you should be on the Brownfield Authority. Thank you for coming tonight. We have discussion renaming of a portion of the 5th Street from the roundabout to the railroad tracks. Anybody here to speak on that?
All right. I do have a little USB stick, but there's already one in here, so I don't know. You were saying that you could bring.
Pull it out and put a new one in, but we don't have any screens.
Is that a lot of trouble? I don't want to put anybody out, but I'd really love for everyone to see it here. Ooh. Okay. I promise it's really, really short.
With the short skirt.
My problem is it's a PC and I don't know how to use a PC. Anybody know how to use a PC? Anybody?
You're all right,
Who knows how to
right
use a PC? Do you?
there. You're okay. You can sit there.
I'm too old to know both computers. I know Mac. I don't know that. Forget it. Thank you. See, now I'm just double trouble. So we can, before we even start, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for listening and allowing me to speak about our 10-year anniversary of the I Am the Greatest. I am, yes. So I'm Anna Russo-Sieber from ARIS Gallery Arts and Culture Center. We started exactly 10 years ago the I Am the Greatest project, named for the greatest boxer of all time, Muhammad Ali, who is was a local seasonal resident. A lot of you may have known him. I knew him. He was an amazing guy. He did a lot of things in our community that a lot of locals don't really even know how much he's actually done. An artist from Detroit actually brought those orange silhouette sculptures to the community. And I think because like 10 years ago, we were really coming back strong. Benton Harbor still is, right? Continuing. And continues to be a good role model and muse. And especially to our youth in Benton Harbor, to work through tough times, to work through adversity. So we have taught in 10 years over 1,000 youth. And, we've gotten great sponsorships from like Whirlpool, and they've allowed us to bring the kids in, not just for the I Am the Greatest workshops, but year round. Like next week camp begins. So we kind of collaborate with either Boys and Girls Club, or this one is the Readiness Center. So we got the little ones. And they're coming in and joining our camp. And so, big Lexi, this is how I can't see how big the font is. So this is not my idea, okay? But I really dig this idea once I heard about it. That it would be a great to sort of ask to present about the 10-year anniversary. And it was suggested that we request renaming that portion of 5th Street Muhammad Ali Way. So I didn't come up with the idea, but I'm totally in if anyone else is. So this is only a 3-minute awareness film. This gives everyone in the room kind of an example of what we've been doing. And, I graduated from Benton Harbor years ago, moved away, came back, opened, knew this was my purpose. And here it goes. So.
We are the home to the I Am the Greatest project, named for the greatest boxer of all time, Muhammad Ali.
I don't know if you can hear that.
and the inspiration for the sculpture created by artist John Sauvé, which are installed throughout our community. The I Am the Greatest workshops are designed to teach and assist youth in assessing their strengths and determining their goals through lessons about community, public art, and the history of Muhammad Ali. Teens also learn to express themselves through introspective writing, creating and sharing their thoughts and feelings through artistic media. The sculptures by Sauvé are bright orange representations of the struggle to overcome adversity and are used to inspire youth to work through tough times. For 2 weeks, we become much more than an art center and learning environment. We become a home. Meals are shared, values are modeled, theory and design are taught, and genuine expression is encouraged. The Art Center is a safe place, and it's that sense of security that fosters personal growth through positive interaction. We believe this film will be a powerful vehicle to let others know about the work we're doing here at Benton Harbor. We want you to meet these youth and to hear their stories. I think you will fall in love with them, just as we have, and you will see their full potential. Keep watching to see a short trailer.
I was little, me and my brother used to always play fight. He used to always try to pick Muhammad Ali as himself. And I had to pick like George Foreman or somebody. This kid's got a left. This kid's got a right. If he hits you once, you're asleep for the night. Everybody's going to have some type of obstacle. The main thing is how you're going to overcome it. For a long time, I was just putting it on me that my brother was gone. But I finally overcame it and realized, he was there for me.
Learning about being kind, taking yourself, out of yourself and looking at your community and people around you and how can you help others.
The whole idea of creating something is putting something in the world that wasn't here before and making that world a better place in some way, right? And if you can turn it into a positive, then, you'd be a real strong person like that. I can already tell that, right?
Congratulations.
Thanks for letting me share that 3-minute. Brings back a lot of memories. So yeah, 10 years, a lot of youth, and they're amazing. One of the things we've been able to do is about 4 years ago, we connected with the school, the Chicago Art Institute, and they have a summer program at Oxbow, which is north of here, off 96. And we've had a couple of youth go through the program and receive college prep credits, like the first of their family. So that's an awesome thing. They come really young and they kind of stick around and they become like our teachers' aides, and we take them out to dinner and we do all these things. So, but it's less about, it's not about me at all. It's about the youth and about continuing this program. And I think the cool thing about it is I think our youth would be super excited to see Ali's legacy, to see it honored, because they know the story. Like we show tons of footage about him and hearing him talk and they even write their own little prose. They write their own little, rhymey things like he always did. So it's kind of fun. But anyway, I'll ramble forever. I was only going to take 8 minutes. So, so we would like to see 5th Street renamed Muhammad Ali Way, because I think that man was a rock star. And it's like, it's been 5 years since he's been gone. So.
Exactly, where's that at?
I beg your pardon?
Where is that at?
5th Street?
Yeah, 5th Street.
Yeah, it's like right around
there.
by the library, the roundabout right here. It's down, and then you just go straight down to like the railroad tracks or whatever, or however long you want to take it out.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, just past
Okay.
delivery. Everybody, you know,
Mm-hmm.
would like, you know, everybody, you know, and they all have their sculptures and they show their support and sponsor youth and,
Who idea was it?
oh,
Just the kids?
well, the kids, but a couple of people, the mayor brought it up, a lot of different people. Like, once it got out, then everybody's like, why don't you do that? I'm like, why do I have to present it? I want to be humble. I don't really, but I like the idea now.
Great idea.
So, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time.
Citizen rep, like to say something?
So I hadn't really heard about your program. It sounds really awesome. Is this something that anyone can sign up for, or you target specific kids?
I target very specific youth, and that is because we kind of find them through, people help us find the right youth. So, I mean, they don't even, some of them, like we've had Jeffrey Booker brought in a bunch of athletes once, and I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work. And he's like, oh, you'll see. And they loved it because it's more about, it isn't just about the arts, you know, it isn't just, it's about life skills. It's about having an opportunity. Every program, every group of youth that go through, once in that year, we take them to, like, it used to be the Ideal Place, then it's been the Bread Bar, and then it's been, planks. We're supposed to do planks as soon as, now that things are open back up. We got Chip last year. And they bring on a Michelin-style restaurant, too many forks and too many knives, and everybody's so waited on. They have courses, even if the final course is like hot cocoa, like they dig it. They're so into it. And they're a little bit arrogant when they leave. And I love it. You know, they're like, oh, you start from the outside in, and that spoon up there, that's for dessert. If there is, you know, it's just all good stuff. It's, you know, they can take these skills and put it in any aspect of their life as adults. So that's our goal. Not trying to be their moms, just trying to.
Muhammad Ali, Buddha,
I
wait.
had
Muhammad Ali way.
I had the pleasure of knowing the man. So
Good, yes. He's wonderful.
I
He was
definitely support him.
awesome.
You got to show it. If the commission, you got to show it.
Oh, sure, yeah, that'd be great.
Oh.
Any commissioners, anybody?
Yeah, anybody have questions?
Say something. Commissioner Henry.
Yeah, I would like to ask them one question. How do the parents participate in your program?
That's a really good question. So sometimes they drop them off. Sometimes we have, like the Boys and Girls Club, we've had transportation in the past, but we always have an artistic, like an artist reception where they install their work and show their sculptures that they paint, and the parents come in. And you should come over sometime because I can show you a lot of images and from a lot of the receptions. So the parents are always invited and always come. In fact, you're all invited. And in fact, I brought postcards for the celebration. And because we've taught over 1,000 youth, we have 1,000 postcards in the likeness of Muhammad Ali. And everyone gets to, you can use crayons or markers or paints, and we'll put it up as one of the 1,000 posters. I've got them in my purse. I'll make sure I pass them out. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it is.
Anybody else?
Commissioner Sims.
Oh, just a statement that, you know, I did get a chance to be around Reese when he was in town here, and on some different occasions he supported bell boxing thing, other stuff. Back over at Barnes School years ago, got a chance to take a picture with him. Great guy.
Absolutely.
Always approachable and cared about the people in general, especially kids.
It's true.
You know, and with the arts, you know, I think that's a opportunity for a kid, you know, to be an individual. You know, you have a lot of, you know, we know, you know, basketball town and, you know, those team sports, you know, and we miss out on a lot of talent because we, you know, focusing on those type of sports and activities, art, you know.
Well, it's all in there, right?
It's an individual thing that, you know, get to express, you know, I watch my little, I got a 9-year-old grandson, and he left-handed, and, that guy, boy, I mean, he comes show me his little drawings and stuff, I can't believe it, I don't know where he got it from, but, I'd rather get draw a steak man.
Oh, I'm glad you support the arts. It's an amazing thing.
It just, you know, I think it's awesome. It reached a lot of kids who probably would already part there and get left out.
It was important for us, and it was also, it's always like after school hours during like really crucial times where, you know, it's like between being home and leaving school and making sure they're safe, you know, and feeding them meals they love. Who doesn't like to eat?
Anybody else like to say something?
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Wells, you gotta come.
It was a long time ago, I saw a little short film. Muhammad Ali was saying that he loved Benton Harbor, and he had a superstition that at the time they had way back in the day, had a Howard Johnson's restaurant. He said before any big title fight, he always had to have ice cream a la mode before any title fight before he left Benton Harbor.
Can I just point out one more thing? I know it was like a quick 3-minute awareness, so we don't have to go back or anything, but in our film, we were able to, we had our biggest group, I think there were like 23 youth in that group. And the executive director of education from the Muhammad Ali Center from Louisville came to the gallery, and he came to the Boys and Girls Club. And we took him to dinner, and we're also producing a book. This is our 4th, ARS publishes art books. And so we're finally doing a 10-year anniversary book, and the Ali Center, they're writing a letter, a page, you know, sort of like an intro to it. So we're so excited. Anyway.
Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Cruz? Thank you. We'll take this to the full body.
Thank
you. Thank you, support. Take this to
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Right. This, we have this item to the Benton Harbor City Commission through the City Manager Mitchell from Mayor Marcus Muhammad. The item before the commission, a resolution to rename the Harbor Bluff Housing Complex, formerly known as Vineyard Projects, in honor of Ralph Crenshaw. So this is a resolution, yes, a resolution to name the Harbor Bluff Housing Complex for the Vineyard Projects after Ralph Crenshaw. In a recognition of Mr. Ralph Crenshaw's outstanding achievements and endless effort in this community, Mayor Muhammad and the Benton Harbor City Commission wish to rename the Harbor Bluff Housing Complex, formerly known as the Vineyard Projects, the Ralph Crenshaw Housing Development, in his honor. Justification. Mr. Ralph Crenshaw is a lifelong resident of the city of Benton Harbor that has served in numerous capacities throughout the community. He is currently chairman of the board of commissioners for the Benton Harbor Housing Commission. He was instrumental in obtaining a Hope 6 grant, as well as making other huge strides to improve the quality of life for the residents in the city of Benton Harbor. He has contributed greatly to the successes of various aspects of the city through his endless efforts and accomplishments in society. So we're going to name I think that's right off the cord there, right? Right off the cord. Anybody want to speak on the renaming? Well, Representative Warren, would you like to speak on renaming of the Harbor Bluff Housing Complex, known as the Vineyard Projects, in honor of Ralph Crenshaw?
So I'm not personally familiar with Mr. Crenshaw, but based on what you've read about him working with the Hope 6 grants and he's on the Housing Commission, I don't object to it. I'm assuming if he was nominated, the community, must be a pillar in the community, so I don't have any other comments.
Okay. You say, man, you want to talk about Ralph? You want to talk about him? Anybody want to speak on the renaming the Harbor Bluff Complex? Bluff, after Mr. Crenshaw. Mr. Duncan, thank you.
Because that happened twice in one night, I wouldn't have said a word.
Okay.
Guy on the picture earlier called us, three brothers in here called us niggers one day. So that was on that other slide, and I need to get back over where you were talking about Mr. Crenshaw. A lot of things happened in this chamber. Give him whatever you want. But a lot of things happened in this chamber what was so damn negative that came through here and didn't benefit the citizens. That's what's been forgotten about in this whole city, is the citizens. And I ain't talking about the little kids either. I'm talking about their mom and their daddy and their sisters and their brothers was older than them, but haven't had jobs. All of these people, all of those people were around then when their parents, grandparents were paying the taxes, doing all the things to keep this city alive. We can't even open up our own Bobo Brazil Center on our own. They took our YMCA off of Crystal years ago, put it in St. Joe, named it Benton Harbor St. Joe. Back to the matter at hand. Give him what you want to give him, but negative if you not benefiting the citizens the way you should when you're in these positions of authority, then somebody ought to say something about it. So that's me. All mine. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak on the renaming of the complex? It's a fairly new complex, not that old. Look kind of good out there too. I think they had the Boys and Girls Club out there. And I guess, Mr. Crenshaw formerly was a commissioner, right? Commissioner Henry, you was.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Commissioner, yeah.
Long term.
So he's been on the housing commission, I think, since I've been here, so he must have been on it a long time. But I guess, well, somebody feel that we're the mayor, So he have done a lot, I haven't seen him in a while. I hope, I don't get a chance. He is still alive, but I know, I've seen him stay right down the street from him. Well, we try to recognize people for their accomplishments and doing great things in the city, while they're here, best time to do that. So, Representative Warren, we'll move this to the full body.
I agree.
That's the last thing on the agenda. If anybody wants, hey, Mrs. Hudson.
And it's has nothing to do with the.
Oh,
Mr. Duncan indicated that someone on the USB that works with her program came to this chamber and called us niggers.
I don't know. I wasn't here. I don't know.
Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I think we
Have a private conversation.
Yeah.
It did happen.
And that was someone you saw on
tape.
Thank you for everybody coming tonight. The meeting is adjourned.
Yes, sir.
We take that to the full body, so we have to vote on it.
Y'all can get whatever y'all want to.
How you go?
Did you get one? You got Mr. Curtis?
Yeah.
I got you.